What is Buddhism? Who is the Buddha? What is his origin? What did Buddha go through on his path to liberation and enlightenment? Let's explore and learn about him together in this video. Ancient Nepal, 2,500 years ago. A queen named Maya had a dream in which she saw a divine white elephant, symbolizing that her child would become a great leader. Soon after, Siddhartha Gautama was born in the serene garden of Lumbini. From the moment he entered the world, there was something special about him, surrounded by an aura, as if fate had a plan for this newborn. From birth, it was prophesied that he would attain enlightenment and be freed from the cycle of rebirth. From a young age, Siddhartha's father, the king, sheltered him from the harsh realities of life, fearing that the call of fate would take his son away from the kingdom when Siddhartha Gautama came of age. The prince grew up in palaces designed for ultimate pleasure and comfort. There was one for every season, and he lacked for nothing. But fate, as usual, always finds us. One day, after many years of avoiding suffering, Siddhartha was finally allowed to leave the palace walls. What he saw left him stunned: an old man, weak and hunched over, a sick man ravaged by illness, a lifeless corpse, cold and motionless, and a serene-looking monk. For the first time, Siddhartha faced suffering, sickness, and death, realities that no wealth or power could change or escape. This moment changed everything. It sparked a growing restlessness within Siddhartha, a restlessness that only intensified. He realized that no matter how comfortable his life was, suffering was inevitable. He couldn't shake the feeling that life had to be about more than just pleasure and material wealth. One night, Siddhartha made the hardest decision of his life. He bid farewell to his wife, his newborn son, and the kingdom he was destined to rule. At midnight, he escaped the palace, trading his silk garments for a simple robe, and embarked on a journey to discover the truth of how to free oneself from suffering. His spiritual path was not easy. First, Siddhartha sought out the most renowned spiritual teachers of his time. He learned meditation, practiced asceticism, and tried various methods to free his mind. But none of these methods seemed to bring him closer to the answers he sought. His body grew frail from fasting, and his mind felt clouded and drained of energy. After many years of extreme asceticism, one day, due to exhaustion, Siddhartha collapsed beside the Naranjara river. When he regained consciousness, he realized that this path of self-mortification only tortured the body and did not bring liberation. He thought that the entanglements and roots of suffering were not external but lay in the ability to renounce desires from within the mind. With this realization, he decided to follow a new path to seek liberation, which he called the middle way. After accepting a bowl of milk porridge offered by a village girl named Sujata, his health gradually recovered. Then, he went to sit in meditation under the Bodhi tree on a pile of dry grass and vowed, "If I do not attain enlightenment while sitting here, even if my flesh and bones decay, I will not rise." And so, the night of battle began. It was not a physical battle, but an inner struggle. The demon Mara, representing temptation and fear, sent his most seductive illusions, visions of wealth, pleasure, and fear, to distract Siddhartha from his quest. But Siddhartha remained unwavering. He touched the earth, calling it to witness his determination, and at that moment, the chains of ignorance and suffering collapsed. As the first light of dawn broke, Siddhartha attained enlightenment. He became the Buddha, the enlightened one. He had discovered the Four Noble Truths, the truth of suffering, the origin of suffering, the cessation of suffering, and the path leading to the cessation of suffering, the Noble Eightfold Path. After 49 days and nights of meditation under the Bodhi tree, Siddhartha found the path to liberation, attaining the peaceful state of nirvana and complete enlightenment. Initially, he was inclined to remain silent, not wanting to teach the Dharma he had realized under the Bodhi tree to the world. At that time, he may have considered pursuing the path of a Paksika Buddha, silent Buddha. However, for the benefit of the deities and humanity, the Buddha accepted the invitation of Brahma and decided to leave the Bodhi tree to spread his teachings. As per an old agreement that whoever attains enlightenment first will seek to guide the others, the Buddha then went to Sarnath to teach Dharma to the 5 ascetic companions who had previously practiced austerities with him. The Buddha began teaching by explaining the path leading to the experience of enlightenment and liberation. Based on his own enlightenment experience, he taught the 4 noble truths, the Noble Eightfold Path, the concepts of non-self, impermanence, rebirth, dependent origination, the law of cause and effect, and many other teachings, expanding upon them to suit the capacities of various individuals. At the Deer Park in Sarnath, near Benares, also known as Varanasi, he gave his first sermons, which were called Turning the Wheel of Dharma. On the full moon day of June, the Buddha instructed 1,250 ordained monks, do not commit any evil, cultivate only good, and purify the mind. This is the teaching of all Buddhas. On the path of fulfilling his vow to liberate all beings, the Buddha did not forget his aging father and the royal family. After attaining enlightenment, he returned to the city of Kapilavastu with his disciples to teach Dharma and guide his relatives. Over the years, his teaching spread far and wide, attracting followers from all walks of life, farmers, merchants, scholars, and even kings. After 49 years of teaching and guiding beings, the Buddha recognized that the physical body, composed of the 4 elements, was impermanent and illusory, like a cart that had reached the point of wear and breakdown. He informed the assembly that he would enter nirvana in the near future. At the age of 80, he lay down between 2 sala trees, surrounded by his close disciples. He reminded them, regarding the truth, the Tathagata has never spoken a word. The meaning of this statement is that the Buddha's teachings are a means for practitioners to reach the enlightenment of truth, but the teachings themselves cannot fully describe the truth. Truth is extremely subtle and cannot be fully expressed through words, it must be realized through personal experience. The Buddha's teachings are merely a tool to help practitioners reach the truth themselves. All things are impermanent, and he advised them to rely on themselves and the Dharma. The Tathagata teaches others the path to enlightenment, but each person must walk that path to enlightenment for themselves. He asked if anyone had any final questions and invited them to ask. Then the Buddha gave his final teaching, O disciples, listen carefully to the Tathagata, all conditioned things are impermanent. What arises will also cease. Strive diligently to attain liberation. The Buddha entered nirvana through successive stages of deep meditation, a state of complete liberation from the suffering of life. The story of Siddhartha Gautama is not just a historical tale, but a timeless journey of self-discovery and transformation. From a sheltered beginning to his attainment of enlightenment, the Buddha's journey teaches us that suffering in life is inevitable, but liberation is possible. What can we take from this? First, that suffering is a shared part of the human experience, but how we respond to it is within our control. Second, true peace comes from within, not from material wealth or outward circumstances. And third, the Buddha's teachings, though profound, are only tools. Each of us must walk the path toward our own enlightenment. As you reflect on this story, consider how the lessons of balance, mindfulness, and compassion can guide your own life. Like Siddhartha, we all have the power to awaken to deeper truths and find freedom from our own struggles. And if this message resonates with you, please hit the like button and subscribe for more stories and lessons from the wisdom of the Buddha and other great Buddhist teachings. Thank you for listening.